Maude E. Callen was born November 8th, 1898 in Quincy, Florida, one of 13 sisters who was born to Harrison and Amanda Daniel. She was orphaned at the age of 6. Her uncle, Dr. William J. Gunn, the first Black physician in Tallahassee, Florida, took her in and raised her. Often, he would allow her to help with his patients. This is where she would get her inspiration to go into the nursing field. She was educated at the St. Michael's and All Angels Perry Ocho schools, studied at the Georgia Infirmary in Savannah, one of the first hospitals to train Black nurses. She received nurse and midwife training, attaining a nursing degree from the Tuskegee Institute. She also attended Florida A&M University. After graduating, she married her husband, William Dewar Cobb Callen. And in 1923, she was offered a position as a temporary medical missionary at a church in Pineville, Berkeley County, South Carolina. She and her husband decided to move there, but Pineville was not like Florida. It was a remote place surrounded by plantations. The residents, many of whom were former slaves, lived in tar shacks lit by oil lamps with no electricity at the edge of Hellhole Swamp, a large, still body of water surrounded by flies and mosquitoes. Hellhole was a place of immense poverty and desolation. The residents could not afford necessities such as food, clothing, and medical care. They had no telephones, cars, trains, or buses. They had to travel by wagon or buggy to the nearest town, which was 10 miles away. The closest hospital was miles away in Moncks Corner, the county seat, but doctors refused to travel to Hellhole Swamp. Callen understood the urgent need of a forgotten people. She then opened a clinic out of her home, miles from any hospital. There, she cared for the sick, performed yearly checkups, and delivered babies. She then decided to go directly to the residents of Hellhole, which was not easy being that it was hard to get to. It was 400 square miles of thick brush and trees crossed with muddy roads. Once the road ended, she would have to walk the rest of the way, carrying her bag and trekking through branches and brambles to reach the residents. It was said that she drove 36,000 miles a year, making visits to the residents. The residents called her the angel in twilight because the lamp she carried would break through the darkness of the forest. On her routine visits, she fed residents, gave out clothing, taught them how to read and write, and taught women pre and postnatal care. She served as a doctor, dietitian, psychologist, and bailer to the community. She often worked 16-hour days, earning about $225 a month. In 1951, Life magazine sent W. Eugene Smith, a world-renowned photojournalist, to document Callen. Pictured here, an elderly man is shown moved to tears because of the tender kindness Maude had treated him with. When Time magazine published the work on December 3rd, 1951, more than $20,000 in unsolicited donations was raised, allowing Callen to build the Maude Callen Clinic in Pineville, which she operated until her retirement in 1971. After retiring, she convinced the county to run a senior citizen nutrition program out of the clinic. Maude Callen, at the age of 85, voluntarily oversaw and managed a program which delivered food to seniors 5 days a week, also providing transportation for those who needed it. She delivered 50 meals a week personally to seniors, mostly younger than her. She is quoted as having said on turning down an invitation from President Ronald Reagan to visit the White House, "You can't just call me up and ask me to be somewhere. I got to do my job." In her great service, it is said that she delivered 800 babies and trained 400 midwives. She died at her home in Pineville on January 25th, 1990, and was buried in the White Cemetery near St. Stephen. Maude's most famous quote is, "Let me live in my house by the side of the road and be a friend to men." And she was a friend to so many, a great and remarkable mother, a counselor, and a comforter to the hopeless, who dedicated her life to her people, full of compassion, an angel in the twilight. This is the story of Maude Callen.